I believe Trump actually is at McDonald's. Which is epic. I was just looking at the video, and like it's awesome. Speak to any specific crypto, but I do think that the sort of cryptocurrency is an interesting and probably valuable bulwark against a centralized control. This is definitely not an endorsement or lack of endorsement for XRP, but I do think crypto, by its very nature, it helps with individual.
Ripple co-founder Chris Larsen has now donated more than $11.7 million to 2 PACs supporting the VP's campaign, making Larsen one of the crypto industry's largest individual donors this cycle.
Because if, in fact, you can't crack that at all, government can't get in, then everybody's walking around with a Swiss bank account in their pocket. All right?
I know bonds are the most boring subject imaginable, but the bond market matters. Bond yields have been going up like mad ever since the Fed cut rates last month. The opposite of what you'd expect, and the velocity of the move is so fast that the stock market can't seem to find footing. Make no mistake, bonds are behind today's ugly action in the big caps, Dow losing 344 points, the S&P declining 0.18%, and the Nasdaq actually did advance 0.27%. I won't say bonds are the only thing that matters. Others do that. That's not true, though. And there are plenty of people who already give you that bogus argument. I hear them all day. So do you. It's absurd. The stock market has had a fabulous run, even as bond yields have crept up almost the entire time. They love to ignore that glaring fact, the bears. Every day is Groundhog Day for them. They see interest rates go up higher, so they panic themselves, and they are trying to panic us. But we will not be panicked. What are the bond bears really afraid of? Let's go down the list. First, the bond bears always like to use long-term interest rates, the ones set by the bond market, as a cudgel to hammer the Fed. To them, the Fed is the be-all and end-all because Fed watching, guess what? It requires no homework whatsoever. It's not like they're figuring out if Boeing has the requisite cash flow to be in on the underwriting or if ASML is really indicative of the state of the semiconductor business. If we were talking about the NFL, these are people who've never heard of the spread. They're only picking winners on the money line, not winners giving points. I think they're ridiculous in the lack of nuance. Rates higher, blame the Fed. Rates lower, take credit yourself. But here's the simple truth. Did the Fed need to do a double rate cut, moving 50 basis points and not 25? Yes. Yes, they had to do it. If they wanted to be sure that the proverbial plane didn't crash, it was the best way to keep alive the promise of a soft landing, no landing, or a quick touchdown and fill out. So no, Jay Powell's not a dunce or a softy. He's just doing his job responsibly. And these constant naysayers will be wrong once again. They really bother me. But because bears in the peanut gallery are never held accountable, no one will remember it.
Welcome to the Crypto Teacher. And you know I come back with that video just to make you think.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.
And make sure you're joining the Patrons. If you're not a part of the Patrons, make sure you're hitting the Cash App. And also, guys, make sure you go like and follow the TikTok. More videos to come. And we have Elon Musk speaking on Trump at McDonald's. Also talks about crypto. And we know for a fact Elon Musk knows all about this new digital economy. Every piece of technology he's working on is all for the fourth industrial revolution. But then also, Elon Musk looks like he's being set up to be a next presidential candidate in 2028. And remember, the Crypto Teacher told you, in 2028 and 2029 will probably be one of the best movies we've ever seen. And those who built me from the beginning know why. And we have Chris Larsen with $11.7 million to Vice President Kamala Harris. And we know that's nothing but the Hegelian dialectic. Now, we had Obama speaking about government access to bank accounts on your phone. And that video was very old. I played it several times. But the fact is, if I go and pay cash, you never know what I'm buying. And the same thing should happen if you have your wallet on your phone. The government should have no reason of knowing what you're actually buying. But in the fourth industrial revolution, privacy is like gold. I can't say that enough. And we have Jim Cramer speaking about bonds. Yes, guys, it's boring. How many times have I said that? Yes, it's boring. But we know Cryptoteacher talks about it daily. And I told you that once Jerome Powell left, yields would creep back up. And what happened? They creep right back up. And the next time Jerome Powell's in the house, we're going to have a new president. So now they have another administration to blame for anything that goes wrong. And that president's job is to land us in this fourth industrial revolution. And remember, the Cryptoteacher told you. And we have big tech launching these AI agents for sales, customer service, and accounting. And guys, this technology is well over 20 years. They've been ready to take over. Now they're going to slowly bring in the technology. And these call centers are going to be taken over by AI. Not a human involved. So there's going to be a lot of people out of work. Remember, Andrew Yang told us a long time ago that this technology could have been shut down all the call centers. But we know NWO works on timing. And when it comes to blockchain, we know it's nothing but a ledger anyway. So we know for a fact accounting is out the window. Those jobs are going to be a thing of the past. Now we have Mark Cuban reminds us of Bill Gates. Selling majority of the basketball team, then goes into selling medicine online, now speaking about politics when we know politicians are nothing but paid puppets. He's just playing the Hegelian dialectic. And we have the drums are beaten, and the info has been leaked that Israel would not touch oil and nuclear systems. And we've seen this movie before. Anthony Sutton warned us back in the early 80s. The banks fund both sides, and this is all planned. And remember, the Cryptoteacher told you. And then we have Disney making some changes to the board and also giving timing of Bob Iger's exit from the company once again. But Disney gets Morgan Stanley's James Gorman. And we know that definitely doesn't surprise us. And then also Bob Iger is out in 2026. And don't forget, Disney is going to play a big role in the metaverse. They will have NFTs on lock. And if you use your imagination when it comes to sports, you'll have regular people sitting on a couch that can actually be able to join the game. And remember, the Cryptoteacher told you. Because he knows when it comes to the NWO, it's all planned out. You have a wonderful day.
Launching 10 autonomous agents to help businesses with things like sales, customer service, or accounting. And that'll be available for public preview beginning in December. Our Deirdre Bosa has more on how this could be the next leg in the AI race on today's Tech Check. Hey, Dee.
Hey, good morning, Carl. So AI agents, yes, shaping up as the next leg, battleground, buzzword, and enterprise AI. Microsoft's announcement, it comes just days ahead of the general availability of Salesforce's competing agent force, and it pits these two companies against each other since they're essentially doing the same thing with these tools, which is creating virtual employees or supercharged customer service chatbots that can automate tasks. Now, they're both hoping as well that agents can better sell their tools, and they're promising that it'll deliver better results as well. As our Steve Kovac has reported, Copilot has underwhelmed customers, but the big question now is whether agents will be able to live up to expectations. And those expectations are certainly building, led by who other than Salesforce CEO Mark Benioff, the great hype man himself. Leading up to this release from Microsoft, Benioff has been taking every chance he gets to slam Microsoft's current Gen AI product, Copilot.
Copilot experience for so many customers has become the Clippy experience. What I mean by that is they're just not getting the value that they want. We just don't see Copilot as that key step for our future. In some ways, they kind of looked at Copilot as the new Microsoft Clippy. And I get that.
And again, on Friday, posting to X, Clippy, Copilot rather, is more like Clippy 2.0. He really does not like Clippy.
When you were asked about the possibility of unrealized, taxing unrealized capital gains, you said if you really thought that the vice president would do that you'd campaign against her. So I guess that was a true comment you made. And then my follow-up question.
So what I said was, So what I said was, I said it's not going to happen, absolutely not going to happen. If for some reason she lied about it, I would campaign against her so there wouldn't be a second term.
Okay. Then what I was going to ask you is, and I'm not going to go through, these are like, there's like 20 things, but I'll just pick out a couple that I think would be really scary. If she were to try to abolish the filibuster, if you knew she was going to do... I'm against that.
Yeah, I don't agree with that. Next.
And then how about free health care for all?
She doesn't talk about that. So here's exactly what she's talking about with health care.
But there were some things she has said. I can pick out probably 10 things where
Joe, I can go back to an interview.
You would say, yeah, I'd campaign against her. So
I'm not surprised at the fact that Israel's response was not immediate. I think there are a variety of factors at play, including trying to maximize how much you can catch the enemy, in this case Iran, off guard in one way or another. So it seems that this may contribute to a longer period of time, this leak. The administration is clearly acknowledging that it happened, which also makes me think that there may be some effort to ensure that whatever happens is sufficiently different than whatever information was leaked.
We should note the two documents had been prepared by the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency and are essentially interpretations of satellite imagery. We're actually watching where troops are being moved, where missile batteries are being moved. In the bigger picture here, we've already heard reporting that Israel will not target oil installations, will not target Iran's nuclear systems. Isn't the cat out of the bag already on what Israel is doing?
What's the significance of this? Is there a mole maybe inside U.S. intelligence?
It's incredibly bad. I mean, what was leaked on Telegram, what we know from publicly available information, looks like it was from our geospatial agency. This is, to put it in context, this is some of the most highly classified material that the U.S. government is in possession of. Unfortunately, there has been a pattern of this, not only in the Biden administration. If you go back into the Obama administration, there was a leak in the Obama administration in 2012 about Israel's plans to attack Iran's nuclear facilities. Now, I believe that the Obama administration likely leaked that because they wanted the JCPOA, which was the Iran nuclear deal. They didn't want Israel to strike Iran. So unfortunately, there is a pattern of this behavior. I think this should be prosecuted at the highest levels. We're talking about top secret information, likely compartmentalized. This should not be taken lightly. And whoever has leaked this information on Telegram should go to jail for 30 years.
But it would have been somebody probably inside U.S. intelligence with access to the highest level security stuff.
It could be an intelligence professional. It could be a policy professional as well. So intelligence professionals will have access to this information if they are read in. On the policy side, at the White House, State Department, there are a limited number of individuals that would have access as well, including at the Department of Defense. So it should be a small number of people that would have eyes on this information. There shouldn't be like thousands of people, for example, that have it. But one thing that's really important to note, a leak like this makes it dangerous, what makes the operation, a very tricky operation, much more dangerous for the Israelis. It puts everybody at risk whenever operational details are leaked ahead.
So 2 pieces of Disney breaking news right now. The first, that Mark Parker will be stepping off the board after 9 years, and he will be replaced as chairman of the board by James Gorman, the former CEO of Morgan Stanley. That's piece of news number 1. Piece of news number 2, Disney formally saying that it will announce Bob Iger's successor for CEO in early 2026. Now, that is later than what I had previously reported. Disney had targeted a date of where they were looking at 2025. This will give the board even more time to make a robust selection of a new CEO for Bob Iger. Of course, this was a big issue. You can remember when Nelson Peltz took a stake, he pushed this idea of succession very hard. Disney has struggled with it. I apologize for the dog in the background. But this gives even more time for the company to make a new CEO. So early 2026 will be the new CEO candidate. January 2nd, 2025 is when Mark Parker will depart the board. He says in a release that has just been issued by the company that he's going to focus on other areas. I'm told that is Nike related. Of course, there's been a lot of struggles with Nike just naming a new CEO by itself.
Hey there, Alex. One question for you is, given the James Gorman moving into this chairman role, does that indicate that when Bob Iger steps down and the replacement is stepping up, that it would be unlikely for Bob Iger to move into a chairman-like role?
Yeah, so I don't think we know that yet. So another thing that I'm told is that no decision has been made with Bob Iger in terms of what happens when his contract runs out. Remember, his contract as CEO does not run out until December 31st, 2026. So if the new CEO is named in early 2026, that gives a series of months of runway there where Iger can sort of transition that new CEO. But it's possible that Bob Iger would then stick around on the board and maybe then be elevated to the chairman of the board. So we don't know that yet.
And James Gorman, just so everybody is aware, has been heading up the succession planning for Bob Iger, that committee, looking for his replacement, too. Because, of course, James Gorman did such a good job at Morgan Stanley of setting up his succession planning, too.
You know, one other thing that I'm told is that all four internal candidates, the leading internal candidates, so that's Disney co-entertainment chairman Dana Walden and Alan Bergman, that's ESPN president Jimmy Pitaro, and then the head of the Parks and Resorts, Josh D'Amaro. They've all recently met with the succession committee headed by James Gorman. Now, the board is looking at both internal and external candidates, but all along here, Disney insiders have thought the most likely candidates would be one of those internal candidates. They've all met recently with the board, and it's not the first time they've met with the board to talk about succession, but it is an indication that we are full on go here for the board to look for a new succession candidate. But I will say that when you push the date back to early 2026, this issue now is going to hover over the company for at least a year. I know I had talked to people that hoped a candidate would be named in early 2025 just to have some clarity on the issue.
Going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go. But clearly, we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
And so we'll import Chinese-based CBDC technology. So it's going to be CBDC in a box provided to you by the People's Bank of China.
But every stock, every bond, every currency, every commodity, every piece of art, every private business, every piece of real estate will eventually be a token on a blockchain, an entry on a ledger, permanent and immutable. We will have truth instead of trust, and we will save over $7 trillion a year. 6 to 8% of global GDP is wasted by the friction of the trust industry that's necessary when you have dual entry accounting. With triple entry accounting, which is what a blockchain is, we get rid of all of that friction. It's a beautiful future.
Like what you see in China and their social credit scoring systems, right? If we get identity wrong, it could be a tool to enslave humanity. And if we get it right, it could be a tool to liberate humanity. And as an American, I'm obviously rooting for the one that's on the side of freedom.
Bitcoin is an international asset. And also, I do believe the role of crypto is it's digitizing gold.
I actually believe this technology is going to be very important. Look at it. We have been part of a huge revolution in investing through ETFs. We believe that ETFs will be changing the whole way we invest. Many people still use it as a means, people are investing it for indexing. No, the majority of people who are putting money in in ETFs are active investors that are buying exposure. The entire bond market is being transformed as we talk right now. I believe the next generation for markets, the next generation for securities will be tokenization of securities. We will, and if we could have that distributed ledger that we know every beneficial owner, every beneficial seller, we all have our code of who's buying, who's selling, instantaneous settlement. And think about it, it changes the whole ecosystem.
Chinese bank ICBC has been hit by a ransomware attack, and the U.S. Treasury market, as a result of that, has been disrupted. This, according to the Financial Times. We're getting it more right now with Bloomberg's Shonali Bassick. Shonali, what do we know?
Listen, we have the Financial Times now reporting that ICBC, one of China's largest banks here, was hit with a ransomware attack. And remember, they're a very significant intermediary in the Treasury market. The SIFMA has told its members that this has been part of the reason here that the system is kind of clogged up, if you will, during that auction that we saw a little bit before. The attack had prevented ICBC, according to the Financial Times, from settling Treasury trades on behalf of other market participants. A large executive at a major bank also telling the paper that such a large party on the fixed income clearing corp creates major concerns, potentially impacting the liquidity of Treasury markets.
Now, it was not just a poor auction. It was absolutely lousy, and you know, when the dealers have to step in to save a Treasury auction, that's a rare occurrence. And
Cryptoteacher and the New World Order book, plus the 3 kids books. It's time to re-educate. Also, new to cryptos, Coinbase, Bitrue, Binance. Do not forget book links and crypto links are in the description. The stock channel, guys. Don't forget to go like, subscribe, spread everywhere. You have your Kobo, your chip stocks, your banking, your gaming. While everybody's sitting at home, get on stocks, the Seaver, the biotech stocks. And while everybody's at home wishing, they were still getting that free money. What are they doing? Drinking and smoking weed. Don't forget about those stocks, and you have a wonderful day. The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, you know I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids books. You know, I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate, not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save New York. From COVID-33. Part 3. King Joshua and Grandma Tam goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.